So I'm not going to say that I necessarily loved school, but for me that first week back was always something magical. Arriving with my pristine books and the fanciest stationery that I could get my mum to splurge on, and catching up with all my friends after a long summer break. Now that I'm a mum, back to school means I get the house back to myself, and we're going to celebrate. Today I'm going to show you how to make the ultimate back to school party. This is going to be everything you need to know to style up an amazing dessert display that's really going to get the kids excited about going back to school. They've probably been running around all vacation and are starting to get a little bit bored, so it's also a great opportunity to put them to work and get them helping out in the kitchen. For a bit of a unique take to display our party today, I decided to build it on an old school desk. We went with a chalkboard theme throughout. We added in some really nice pops of yellow and red to really make sure we've got enough colour going on to get everyone really excited. I'm going to show you how to make some amazing apple cupcakes that taste every bit as good as they look. We're also going to be doing a really fun take-home favour item that adds some great height and a fabulous centrepiece to the table. And I'm going to be showing you how to turn a simple old mason jar into a gorgeous apple mason jar take-home favour box. So if there's anything I love more than being in the kitchen and making sweet treats, it's getting my craft on and getting some amazing DIY ideas happening to really accentuate the table. Today, I'm going to show you how to take just a short, fat, standard mason jar and turn it into a really, really bright little apple favour. So your guests can take these home if they want, you can stack them full of candy, you can do whatever you like with them, but they're going to add a ton of colour and a little element of surprise to our back to school table. So to make your little mason jar treat box, all you're going to need is a short and stumpy mason jar and some water-based paint. This is a great activity to get the kids involved with. You can get them to do the messy jobs and then you can just come in and add the details at the end. So we're going to paint the bottom half of our mason jar in a really bright red paint, and then you want to go for a really nice bright green for the lid. That's going to make the top of the apple. To make our leaves, all you're going to need is a little bit of craft paper, a little bit of cardboard and a pair of scissors, and just cut out a really rough leaf shape. And then we're going to use a cupboard handle of all things to make the little stem. A little bit of hot glue to attach them together, fill them up with candy, and you've got a gorgeous little DIY apple mason jar to send home with some very, very lucky little kids before they head back to school. My favourite element of any party is always the food, and for me these little apple cupcakes are not only absolutely gorgeous, but they're super easy to make. I opted for a red velvet cupcake recipe because I'm making red apples, but between you and I, even if they were green, I'd still go red velvet because I love the taste. I'm going to do a little bit of cream cheese frosting because the two go hand in hand, and I'm going to pipe that straight down onto my red velvet cupcakes. Now as I pipe, I'm trying to keep it like as neat and as round as I can on those cupcakes, but I'm not going to be too fussy because we will have some time to smooth it out when we dip in our sprinkles. For sprinkles, I'm going to use a little bit of coloured sanding sugar. You could also use other sprinkles, but the coloured sanding sugar is going to give you that little bit of a shine on the apple. And you just want to take your frosted cupcake and just roll it straight down in those sprinkles. Really simple, and it smooths it out beautifully. For the stem, nothing more than a simple pretzel stick, and you only need half so you can eat the leftovers. And then for our leaf, we're going to use some fresh mint. Fresh mint is technically the vegetable item on our little cupcakes today, but with this, just bear in mind, it can tend to wilt a little bit, especially if you're having this party outdoors. So try to put your little mint leaves on just before you're about to serve. A couple of other fun food elements that I decided to add to the table. I got some just regular candy bars and wrapped them up in some printable ruler templates. Really easy, and they can be done in advance, and it adds to the schooly vibe of our table. And then I grabbed some push pop containers, so you can fill these with candy. I chose to fill mine with some funfetti cupcake and some frosting because you can never have too much cupcake at a party. And then I just wrapped them in some more printable templates, which once again is getting a little crafty in the kitchen. These are our food elements, and I think they are really going to make this party pop. Styling's a great opportunity to really make your party come to life, but I know that back to school can be a really hectic time for us all. I've tried to keep this party as minimalistic as possible while still giving it every element to be over the top. For our main styling element, I've gone with this large cake stand, but instead of making anything that's too intricate or too time-consuming, all I've done is pick up a few stationery items and pop them on the different layers. That way, as your guests leave, they've got something that they can take with them, and the other mums at the party are going to be grateful that they're not going home with a ton more candy. I've stuck with a really strict colour scheme of red, black and yellow throughout. I think the black of the chalkboard not only adds that really kind of school environment, but it also gives you an element of fun. You can leave a little bit of chalk lying around, paint out a couple of black chalkboard surfaces, and everybody can jump in and sign the table, draw some pictures, or write on the backdrop. I built this table on an actual desk because I think it adds to the authenticity of that back to school party. To balance out some of the red, of course I had to have some fresh apples because we can't have a back to school party that doesn't have some kind of fruit involved. And I also, sticking with the fruit theme, wrapped some helium balloons. We got red helium balloons and we took them up a notch by just cutting out a little bit of a leaf out of some craft paper and sticking it on top. With your craft paper, just be careful that you don't cut those leaves too big or go for more than one leaf, or it can kind of like make your balloons sink a little bit. They are just helium, so you just want to give them a nice light small leaf on top. So our sweet styling is complete and our back to school table looks utterly amazing. All you need to do now is sit back, relax and wait for the guests to arrive. Once this party's over and my kids are back to school, it's going to be the perfect time for me to start thinking about my next party. After all, life is sweet.